Did Boy Kill? This is part one of the Did Boy Kill series. I had an incredibly interesting conversation today with someone I love deeply. I do not know what to make of it, but what I do know is that our foundation has cracked, whether he knows it or not. It was one of those conversations that make you question everything you think you know about everything. As I enjoyed a glass of wine after he and I had dinner, we sat across from each other on the floor in our living room, where he started the following conversation. Did you know I used to live here many years ago? Did you know? I answered with a smirk, knowing I was about to hear some fantastical story. Yep, I used to play with my son in that park across the street. He loved to swing on the tire rope hanging from that huge tree. You had a son? Yep, he's a lot older now, but I saw him this morning for the first time in a very long time, right there in that park. I don't remember seeing you talk to anyone. You must have been talking to your neighbor friends. I would have let you say hi, but he's still very angry with me. Why would your son be angry with you? You're the sweetest guy I know. Well, the last time I saw him, he had a knife to my throat. At this point, I sat up to reposition myself against the foot of the sofa. Honey, you had a son you never told me about, and the last time you saw him, he had a knife to your throat. I've seen you almost every day for the last 4 years, and you never mentioned this to me. I never thought I had to, but when I saw him today, it reminded me. Reminded you of what exactly? I curtly asked. Just that I saw him, and that the last time I did, we were here in this room. It was many years ago. Wait, you lived here many years ago? What do you mean? Yeah, many years ago, when I was older. Me, Melvin Jr., and Lou Jean lived here. Who's Lou Jean? I questioned, starting to get a bit uncomfortable with each parlay of the conversation. My wife from long ago, silly. I haven't seen her since I last saw my boy. Always wished I'd seen her again. We actually met at the old creek, right up Anderson Road. That creek has not been around for over 40 years. There's no way he would have known about it had he not lived here. Utterly baffled at that point, I pressed on with the talk, since it was completely unexpected and compelling all the same. Where is she? I don't know, in heaven, I guess. I'm sorry to hear that. She died? Well, yeah, Melvin Jr. cut her and she was breathing weirdly. I couldn't wake her up. He cut her right there where you're sitting. My wine glass almost slipped from my hand at the shock of the comment. It spilled slightly as I went to catch it, splattering across the white carpet. Looked a lot like that, actually, he noted, unaffected. I hate to admit it, sweetie, but you're starting to scare me. Sorry, I wanted you to know since I saw him again today and all. He's just so angry. I don't know why he's so angry. Didn't know why back then either. Last thing he said today was that he was coming back here tomorrow night. Okay, you can stop making up this story now. It's not amusing anymore. You're really starting to scare me. It's okay, I'm scared too. I don't think he's coming to see you. He knows I'm here though, so he'll probably come to see me again. Seeing him with the knife is the last thing I remember before showing up here with you, and suddenly we heard the front door handle begin to jiggle and I let out a scream in panic. The door flung open and my husband ran in terrified. Sarah, what's wrong? Why were you screaming? My husband asked as he grabbed me to console me. Oh, thank God it was just you, Tim. You scared me half to death. As I sat up and tried wiping the rest of the wine off my nightgown, my husband moved to the kitchen and grabbed some paper towels to assist me. I was having a very odd conversation with our Mr. Junior here. He was telling me about how, in a previous life, he was married once and had a child here in this house many years ago. And he was also telling me how his son killed his wife with a knife. He even had a knife to his throat at one point. Oh, is that so, Junior? Tim asked, half-heartedly, looking over to find Junior staring at the open front door with a blank, blinkless expression. But Mom, he said he was coming tomorrow night, Junior mumbled almost in a whisper as he pointed to the front door. My neck whipped around so fast I thought it was going to rip right off my shoulders. As I peered out into the door left open by Tim, I called out to Junior, exasperated but relieved. But honey, there's no one there. Tim, shut the door, please. Quickly, please. As Tim reached for the door, my 4-year-old son coldly spoke. He was standing behind Dad when he came in. And he's there now, Mom. He's looking right at you. Transfixed at the closing crack of the door, I saw nothing but the night in the distance, and yet I felt everything from tonight's conversation. Relieved it's not tomorrow, but petrified that it will be. It's been several hours since my husband and son went to bed. Unable to sleep, I decided to do some research. I found this article online. Like the Nimmer family, I lived on Staten Island, and tomorrow I think we're going to die.